Hi, Albert. Thank you so much for being willing to have this conversation with me. I was so excited to meet you and talk to you. I've been working on this project, as I've been telling you, for my podcast, and just talking to people that have different life experience to try and help people understand the backgrounds that contribute to people having different life experiences. And I was wondering if you can start by just telling us who you are, telling us about yourself. What are you passionate about? What are some things that have helped shape you into the person you are today?
Wow. First of all, welcome to Ghana.
Thank you.
And then Akwaba. So Akwaba means you are welcome to Ghana. All right. So you say thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So my name is Albert. Albert Kwesi Avor. Currently, I run a company called Skyverse Multimedia. Basically, we do commercials, branding, events, and then we also do escort services, probably for businessmen who comes to Ghana to do business, and they will need security or escorts to ensure that their stay in Ghana is safe. But Ghana is a safe place anyway. Yeah. Yes. So that is just something small about me.
As somebody that's from Ghana and you grew up here, this is your home, what are some things that you feel like are important for just everybody to know about Ghana? In terms of like the culture, the lifestyle, the opportunities here or lack thereof, or just anything that people should know that we don't?
I think the average Ghanaian man should be able to identify who they are, their purpose in life, and what they intend to achieve. And if I want to go deep, then I'll talk about the culture, our culture, and then our tribes. You know, we have different tribes of Ghana, tribes in Ghana, and the way we do our things in Ghana. When it comes to our culture, the culture train you to be who you are. But we are living in a time that many people are taking the culture aspect, they are putting it behind. So they are beginning to lose their identity. So they face life and it's like they are not able to achieve what they are supposed to achieve. One, what culture does to you, it reveals who you are and tells you where you are coming from. For me, where I'm coming from the Volta region. We are the kind of people that we've been taught to work hard and to achieve every purpose in life. So basically, the average Ghanaian man should make sure that he or she knows his purpose without necessarily relying on the fact that a president or a leader should be able to do something for them before they can achieve any purpose in life.
Thank you for that. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that Ghana, just like every other place, has cultures, different set of subcultures, depending on the area that you're from. And I know for me specifically, I'm from Oakland, California, which is a long way away. I don't know anything about Ghana. Okay. I had asked you some questions before I came here. I'd asked Ms. Anana, and I live in and have grown up in a neighborhood that's predominantly Black, and we don't know much about Africa at all. And so I feel like that there's a lot of misconception and there's a lot of disconnect between African American culture and African culture, which is a concern, right? Because ultimately, like, this is our home and we don't understand, and there's a fear around going back because we don't have that understanding. And I'm just wondering if you can speak to some of that disconnect and misconception. Where do you think that comes from? And do you feel like there's things that can be done to kind of close that gap?
Okay. So I think the Africans and the African Americans, basically we are all the same people. It is not my fault that, it is not anyone's fault that there was a slave trade, that some people have to leave their culture, they have to leave their tribes and then settle in another nation. One, so what happened is this. Before you became African American, you had a culture. You have a culture that signifies your way of life. Now, when you start growing in America, you begin to learn a different thing. But we here, because we are still connected to our ancestors, we are able to follow the roots. The only difference is that you were born into a country that originally shouldn't have been your home. If your trace was still in Ghana, then it means that you'd have been a full Ghanaian. But now that you are born in America, the culture system in America is quite different. But spiritually, physically, we are all one people. But I think in a way that we can review this for a perfect understanding is that the African Americans are supposed to trace their roots. Okay? You trace your roots, you come down to Africa, then you begin to visit the traditional areas. Let's say, if you come to Accra, I will not advise you to stay in Accra. You should be able to go to the northern region, go to the Volta region, and see the people, know their way of life, how they dress, the food they eat, what makes them happy, and then you begin to understand how they live, and then you begin to know the culture in a whole. So I think the gap is not that much. I think we all need a perfect understanding to know that we are all the same. Just that someone grew up in a different place and another one grew up in the homeland. To be able to connect, it's a simple logic that you trace your roots, know your people, get closer to your people, understand the culture better. In that way, you go back feeling that you've come home. Yes.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you saying that. And I think it's so important for us as African Americans to, like you said, identify our roots, where we come from. But to make the trip out here, like, it was just so mind blowing for me to get off the plane. I've never seen so many Black people, to be in a place where everybody is Black is just an amazing experience, and you just feel at home. And it's so different from America, and I just feel like it's critical for us to come back and have that experience. And I'm wondering if you could speak to what are some of the things that you feel like are misconceptions about Ghana? Because one of my concerns, because I'm from America, I don't know anything about here, was safety concerns. I asked about silly stuff like lions and safety and just all of this stuff. And I'm wondering if you could speak to what do you feel like are some of the biggest misconceptions about Ghana?
So, thank you for this question. First of all, Ghana is one of the most peaceful countries in Africa. Ghana is also a gateway for Africa, or a gateway to Africa. Ghana is a place that you could have a successful business in peace without having issues with anybody. It is a place with rich culture where you have so many things to learn about culture and tradition, even learning about tribes as well. So the misconception, what is all this about? The internet itself is a virus.
Right.
Someone gets up and wants a larger viewership, so he intends to write something that people want to read. As we all say, negative things travel faster than positive things. So some of the things you read on internet concerning Ghana is not true. Ghana is just a peaceful place where you could come, do your business, reconnect with people, and then if you are interested in business, you'll be able to create business. It's not that difficult. So there is no fear. It's a gateway to Africa where you could come and then do business and then connect to your roots. So that is it.
Do you feel like sometimes because media, like you said, reports specifically only on certain things sometimes, that contributes to misconceptions and that contributes to us having a lack of understanding about our roots, our culture, and feeling safe and comfortable coming back because what we see
Let me take
from
the
a
question
media's
again.
perspective?
Let me take the question again.
You want me to say it again?
Yeah.
So do you feel like media pretty much negatively portrays Ghana and Africa as a whole in a way that makes people feel discomfort around coming, and that contributes to kind of the disconnect because of what media shows us?
Yes, that is very true. Because I heard a story of, I used to have a lady friend in Australia. So her thinking about Africa or Ghana was like, the people eat human flesh and they live in caves. And then we live on top of mountains. Probably we don't even dress properly. She even think that we don't wear watch, like we don't even use mobile phone. But this is what she has read. This is what she's thinking about Africa. So it got to a point that we started making video calls. Sometimes she sees me traveling with people. Then she's like, wow, Ghana is big. I said, Ghana is beyond the word big. So she came to Ghana in 2002, and then I took her around. She was very much amazed. So the people in Africa are just like the people in America or anywhere else in the world. The only difference is that we are in Africa and you are in a country that virtually have everything. We are lacking so many things as a country, but that does not mean that we cannot be a match to people in Europe or America. Yes.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that story, because I feel like, honestly, that's a lot of people's perspective. When I was telling like my family and friends that I was coming to Africa, I was like, oh my gosh, like they were just scared because of what they see in the media. And I've had a completely different experience since I've been out here. It's been great. And I really want to bring my son and my family and just have other people experience this. Yeah. But you spoke to Ghana's lacking certain things. And I'm wondering if you can just speak more to that. I know when you took us around yesterday and we were driving, Ghana is a beautiful place, but there's obviously some poverty. And I was wondering if you could speak to why do you feel that is? What resources and support do you feel like Ghana needs as a whole for families and just people to be having better opportunities?
Okay, so I think Ghana is lacking a lot, and then the way forward is this. I think we need to get to a level where we take our culture and our tradition seriously. Why did I say culture and tradition? Because in culture and tradition, you are taught how to respect, how to honor your nation as a country, how to respect your own self, because yourself is the image that you are putting out there. So if you do not identify who you are, you will lose your path. Now, people need to understand that you have to do everything and make it by effort. If you lay back, you don't move forward. So our education system needs a lot of help. We need to teach our children vocation, okay, skills. It is not all about go and complete university. We have a lot of people who have completed university and they can't even fix just a common electrical issues in the house. When there is fire outbreak, somebody who has gone to university doesn't even know the first thing to apply. So we need to force our children to learn skills, vocation. This is going to help them, even while they are in school, they can still be doing one or two works to make money. Second, we have to empower people to go into farming. You know, Ghana is so blessed. Every aspect of the lands we have, even plants a corn underneath a mountain and it will grow. The land is blessed with so many mineral resources. So we need to empower our youth to go into farming And then gradually, we will have a very strong export capacity that the youth is not going to sit down waiting for a president to do something for them to feel okay. If we can empower them with skills, if we can empower them to understand that they have to make things for themselves and not to depend on anybody, Ghana will be a better place.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yesterday, when we were going to the studio and you facilitated that meeting, thank you so much. That was awesome. And I'm so excited to talk more about the borehole project and other ways that we came out here to get involved.
Yeah.
I saw a vocational training service center on the way. So are you pretty much saying that you feel like there's not enough support around vocational training and that more resources around providing people those skills would help offset some of the poverty?
Yes. You see, when we were growing up, I love the village life, but it's so fortunate that where I was born, it's a very notorious background where you have to be tough. You have to fight for money. If I say fight, you can box for money, you can gamble for money. Any other thing you could think that a notorious area or a notorious community would do. That is the area that I was born. So I was forced to do things that I shouldn't have done. Growing up, we all thought that farming was a poor man's work. So we didn't have interest in farming. When we were in school, there was one subject that we call technical skills. Whenever we have to teach that subject, you have to come to school with your board. It's a flat board with your rulers and all that. Carrying it alone, we were so much ashamed to carry such a board to school because we feel that you can't make a living out of such a trade. But now that I'm a full-grown man, every aspect of my work has 80% of technical skills involved. If I had taken technical skills seriously right from primary school to GSS, things would have been a bit easier for me. So the same thing that I was running away from, I am now living in it. So I am forced to use my skills and experience to excel. Now, the average Ghanaian young lady may want to learn fashion designing, but the problem here is, where is the money to get the machine? Many of them want to work, but the disadvantage has to do with some of them don't have the money even to buy a machine, a sewing machine. If you want to learn fashion designing, you need to pay for the school fees or you need to pay for registration. Then the next phase is to buy a machine. The average Ghanaian lady may not be able to do that. If you want to learn, let's say, a skill like welding, you need to buy a welding machine. Many of them may not be able to, afford that. So there is huge disadvantage that many of the youth are facing. So we need to empower them. If we could have a center built in Ghana where the average youth can go to that center, then we have sponsors from outside or sponsors within Ghana. Okay, I have an issue, I want to learn something, but then I don't have the money. So I come to the center, I fill in my application form, then the center pick it up to know what exactly they can do to help me. Until we come to that stage where we can easily help people achieve their dreams, this disadvantage is going to stay for long. If we can move people from one step to the other, we are making progress as a nation, or we are making progress in the life of the youth. That is the way forward. If the youth is not empowered, they are always like this. They will try, it will not work. Some of them may end up in prostitution. Some of them may end up being alcoholics. Some of them may end up being armed robbers. And that is not what we wish for any country. A country that is surviving is a country that have their youth empowered
Right.
in trade and in farming, in computer specialties. Let's say if we could train our youth to have a lot of them involved in IT, then it means that in future we are going to have a lot of IT specialists. And this is a very huge field for any nation. Having IT specialists, having the youth going into farming, having the youth going into trade, this is the way for any nation. And until we are able to take the youth out of their hidden place, empower them to excel, the country will still have a lot of disadvantages, and it's not good.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm glad that you spoke to that point about the youth, because that's huge.
Yeah.
They're the next generation. And we see that in the communities that I'm from.
Yeah.
When they don't have resources or support and they're coming from communities of poverty, they resort to things that are illegal. I think the difference that I see is we do have a lot of resources, more so than what I've seen out here, at least from what I've seen so far. We have a lot of youth centers and different things that help folks get from one point to the next, which is what you're speaking to, and that's really important. I'm wondering if you can speak to what it was like kind of navigating that experience of not having resources, and just how growing up, kind of the way that you talked about, impacted how you are today.
Okay, so I thank you for this question because it's personal. So I'm about to share my personal life with you. I was born in Accra. So you are in Accra. And then I was born in a community called Mamubi. Now, Mamubi and Nima, these are two communities I've mentioned. We have Nima, we have Mamubi. This is where I was born. And when you look at the map of Ghana, these areas are most notorious areas. When I was growing up, you talk of Mamubi, you talk of Nima, you talk of Newtown, you talk of Ashaman, you talk of Fadama. These areas, the youth have so many disadvantages. Peer group pressure, where the youth already are living a very tough life. So you are forced to join them.
Right.
If you don't join them, it's either they constantly attack you until you leave the community. Now, when I was growing up, when two kids are fighting, let's say two children are fighting, you see people betting behind them. This person says that this kid will win. That person says that that kid will win. So, this kid can fight to the extent that they get tired. So because of these activities, you have to be tough. Because every day you can meet somebody, the person will just want to fight with you. So these activities force the kids to begin to feel that life is all about being tough. So the more they try to be tough, the more they engage in other activities. So it means that the brain has been corrupted. So that particular child doesn't want to go to school. I never wanted to go to school. So what I do is this. I'll leave home. My father knows that I'm going to school. But I'll wear my school uniform, but I have the house attire under the school uniform. So when I leave home, my parent knows that I'm in school. I will remove the uniform, hide it under anywhere. Just hide the uniform and then just go to town. And then I'll go to the marketplaces. I'll go to the cinemas. I'll go and gamble small with the house, with the food, with the money that my parents give me for school. I'll use it to gamble. And when I gamble and they win me, I'll fight for the money. I don't want to accept the fact that I have lost. Whilst you are fighting, people are betting behind you. So this makes it very difficult for the youth in that area to enjoy education. They don't want to go to school. But whilst he's even sitting in the class, he wants to make money. So I continued doing this. I grew up to a level where I was so tough that we started working for people in politics. I got to that stage through something in Ghana we call land guard. Land guard, you may not understand what land guard is, or your viewers may not understand what land guard is. So viewers, land guard is like you own a piece of land or an acre of land. The land belongs to you. But then someone else wants to take that land from you. Someone else who feels he has a lot of money than you wants to take it from you by force. And it's a very dangerous situation. So that person may bring notorious guys to stay on the land to prevent you, the owner, from coming to that land. So it means that one land is being owned by two people now, or maybe three. So when you call me, I'll bring my squad, I'll bring my team, very wild guys, very notorious guys who are ready to do anything. So we come to the land and then we fight for the land. Whoever is on the land, we drive them out, we make sure that we get the land for you. And we charge for that. There is a fee you have to pay, which is a very good fee. So we were making money out of that. So we started working for lawyers, we started working for politicians. During elections, we do a lot of things, both good and both bad. But in the course of this, I had a vision that I want to own my business. So I was doing this work until I became a presidential escort or a presidential bodyguard for a while. I wouldn't want to dive deep into that aspect because of the stories surrounding the demise of the president. So I'll leave that. Okay. So I always had my vision whilst I was doing all these things. I knew what I want and I knew where I want to go. So during this time, I've helped so many people. So when I decided to form my company, I used the same people that I have known during my past life to build my company. I started my business in 2006. That was where Skybest Multimedia Agency came to the limelight. And then we started very little. I didn't even have a camera at that time. We used to rent camera for production. I didn't have any machine at all for branding. But I go to these same people that I've helped in my past. I said, oh, this is what I'm doing now. So when you have any job, give it to me, I'll do it for you. Some didn't like it from beginning because they know that they will not get me when it comes to all those notorious issues. Because when someone owes you money, let's say you've done a business with somebody and the person owes you money, he doesn't want to pay you, and you call me, I'll come and take the money for you. Because of that, I work for quite a few companies that I was head of debt recovery team. If I say debt recovery, I hope you understand what I'm saying. Let's say someone owns a company and doesn't want to pay. So I am now the account receivable officer or debt collector. So I go to you or I go to any company owning my company that has given me a contract to collect all their money for them. I come in, I move with my team, I enter your office, I say, hey, this is the document, you own us this amount of money. I'm taking you before I leave. You will bring it. When I'm in that mood, I am a different person. You can't even look into my eyes. And the team that I come with, they won't listen to anybody. So some of them were not happy because all those aspects of my life, they will not get me anymore. They are seeing that I am moving into an area where I am thinking more positive. I want to be more responsible. And I also want to touch life. So I decided to create my business because I went through a tough time in life. I have slept under bridges. I have slept in the markets. Because the life I was living, I can't go back home. My dad would kill me or would beat me. So I didn't want to go home. So I was sleeping on the streets. Not alone, but I had quite a number of guys who are also with me. We were more than 15. That is just my domain. So because of this, I wasn't going home. And then I was just sleeping out. But through this experience, I happened to know that the youth need a lot of help. Because I noticed that there was a disadvantage at home. Mm-hmm. If I need a new shoe, I can't get it. If I want to eat rice and chicken, I cannot. My parents couldn't afford that. Fanta, you know Fanta? Mm-hmm. Coca-Cola, a bottle of Coca-Cola. Before a child would drink a bottle of Coca-Cola, unless it is his or her birthday, or Christmas time. For you to get a bottle of Coca-Cola to drink as a child growing up is a miracle. One, a bottle of Coke, not a big bottle, just a smaller bottle of Coke, can be shared to, if you are 6 in number, that one bottle can be shared to everybody. Sometimes they have to dilute it with water before everyone could get some. Then you get one egg. That is, you are getting that offer just because it's your birthday. So do you understand what it is? I can't eat what I want as a child. I sometimes when we are going to school, we go to government school, and then we see the rich family. They bring their kids in a car, they get down with their bags, and they look so happy. But we are walking. We could walk several miles to school and walk several miles back home. That was tough. If I say several miles, it's a lot of miles. You have to walk that distance to get to school. Who needs that? Right. So this brought down the interest in education. So based on my experience, I knew almost every challenge that every youth or every child was going through. So I decided to be example. I told myself that I am going to come out to be one of the best example for my neighborhood. So as I'm speaking with you, some of my guys, yesterday we passed through a community that you saw a lot of tough guys sitting along the street. Those guys are still my friends, but today they see me and then they are happy that I have become a better person. So my aim, my purpose is to make sure that I bring everybody out of the streets. I empower them to think that they can still become a better person, because I have done that. And with all this, you need to add God. You see, with God, all things are possible. My life became more peaceful when I decided to accept God into my life. It killed that notorious aspect of me. And then now you see me very gentle. I'm able to smile. I never knew what a smile is. I don't know what is there to smile about. But today I'm there, and then I'm able to smile. I reflect on issues, and then I say, oh, life is good. I've done something for myself. So it is not any youth's fault that they are doing what they are doing. You see, the circumstances around force them to do what they are doing. To cut a long story short, if we are able to empower them, if we are able to solve issues that the youth are going through, Ghana will become a better place. Yeah, so that's my story.
I really appreciate you sharing everything that you shared about your life and your experience, and I'm sure that it's reflective of what a lot of other young people especially go through in Ghana and just throughout Africa. And also, I heard parts of your story and my experience, and I also work with youth in America. And the reality is, when you have a lack of resources and opportunities, you resort to what you have to do to survive. But it's obviously more significant out here, as there's a lack of resources in comparison to other countries. And I'm wondering if you can speak to how that kind of lifestyle that you had to survive impacted you long term. Has it had negative impacts long term on just you as a person, or has it mostly been a motivator for you to create the life you have and give back to your community?
Okay, every aspect of my journey or every aspect of my life, I had one goal throughout that journey. I told myself that I'm coming from a very negative background, but I want to prove a point to the world that something good can come out from where I am coming from. I've lived a lot of notorious life, but I had a vision through that. I have sat down with people smoking, drinking. I told myself I'll never smoke weed, but I've sold weed before. I used to put weed in bread. I smuggle weed, even across our borders. I go to Togo to smuggle weed into Ghana in my past life. I have my friends, all of them smoke, but I told myself that I am not going to smoke. They womanize. I told myself that I will not womanize, even though I had more than 2 girlfriends at that time. But then, if I say womanize, I mean you're having like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 girlfriends. I decided I'm not going to do that. And I also decided that every money I make, I'll save 70%. So I was starving myself. If I get $100, I'm going to spend like $30 and keep $70. That was the life I was living. So I think every youth, regardless of the situation you are in, have a vision. Know who you are. Know where you want to go. And that is going to vindicate you throughout the process. You are going to be separated from the rest. You are going to walk into your destiny, provided you have made up your mind that you are going to be outstanding. You are going to make sure that you become a better person. You achieve that purpose. It is very possible if you made up your mind to move out of your domain. Every place you grow up from, if the place is good, if the place is not good, it is an opportunity for you to make a change. Why are you there? Why are you not happy? Because there is a situation that you are not happy about. So the power is in your hands to make sure that don't only grow in that community, but become an ambassador, become a role model, become somebody that people can say, I want to be like this man. I want to be like that man who was once stubborn, who was once notorious, but today has become a better person. So in every aspect of your journey, have a purpose, know your vision, know where you are going. And don't allow friends to force you to do anything. Okay? As you are growing as a youth, never allow somebody to force you to do something. Know what you want to do and follow that. With these guidelines, you are good to go. But for the negative aspects, the community that I grew up from had a lot of negative effects on me. I remember one time I went to a conference, a business conference, and I was asked a question. Then they asked me, where am I from? Then I said, I'm from Mamubi. I'm from Nima. All of a sudden, nobody wanted to have anything to do with me. None of them, even including the speaker. When we closed, I went to shake him. He didn't want to shake me. Why did that happen? Do you know why that happened? Because of where I'm coming from. They know that if you're coming from Nima, you're coming from Mamobi, you are coming from Ashama, you are coming from Fadama, you are a notorious person. You are of no good. So nobody wants to deal with you. They feel that you are just going to catch them and start punching them or cause violence. That is how they see us. But that never discouraged me. Another time I went for a contract. I got to the reception and then I was filling a form and then I wrote where I'm coming from, which is Mamobi. I wrote Mamobi, then the lady said, Mamobi, hey, Mamobi, hey, are you sure you are the one coming for the contract? You see, the mindset, she knows that nothing good can come from that place. But let me tell you the truth. Mamobi Nima Fadama is a very beautiful business area. The youth are so hardworking. Many of the youth go to China, bring clothes. Some of them are into jewelries. Some of them are into motorbike selling. A lot of stuff. So many of them are doing so well. So what you read on the news really does not define a person, or does not really define a community, or does not mean that there are no good people that can come out of that place. So I've enjoyed a lot of negative effects. I've met ladies that I love, that I wish I date them, but when they ask you where are you from and you say Mamubi, they are running away. So it got a time I moved from the area. I do know I don't stay there anymore, but I do visit most of the time. Even yesterday I was in my area with you. You saw I intentionally drove through Mamobi so that you see how the place looks like and how it feels like. So yesterday I was there with all of you. It's a beautiful place. I love Mamobi. I love Nima. I love my Shaman brothers. I love my Fadama brothers. In fact, if I have to come back into life again, I will still want to start my journey from Mamobi, Nima, Newtown. Yes, it's a beautiful place. I have no regrets of anything of my past. It has empowered me. It has empowered me to be who I am today. At least someone can say, "You have done well," and that one alone is enough for me. Someone can say, "Oh, you pushed me into this business, and today I am doing well. Thank you." Someone can say, "Because of you, I am no longer on the streets. Thank you." What else is more blessing than this one?
Yeah, I want you to speak more to kind of where you're at right now, because I feel like it's important what you said. When you're a young person, you're easily influenced by your peers. It's just it's a time in your life where being sociable has a priority, and so you can get really easily influenced. And if your whole environment or community is surrounded by people that are trying to survive, it can be hard to kind of get to that next level, which what you have done. And I want you to speak to kind of what your life looks like today, because I feel like it's important for people in those kind of situations to understand when you do choose to prioritize your future, your goals, and kind of put boundaries around things that aren't in alignment with that, what can happen for you. So can you talk about what you're doing today? Can you talk more about your business, some of your goals for the future, and just where you're at as a person today?
I've also spoke about being a bodyguard, and all these land guard activities made me a tough person. So today, I have a private security company where what we do is that we render services for escort and bodyguard services. So the same guys from the streets who are just there with all the strength and experience that they have, I bring them closer. When businessmen need somebody to escort them or to guard them for business, my guys are there. When there are big events in Ghana, being it Ghana Music Award, being it a wedding, being it an installment of a chief, my guys are there to provide security. That is an aspect of what I do. The main one is Skybest Multimedia. So Skybase Multimedia started like a passion. I love creating stuff. I love interior decor. So Skybase Multimedia started just like a hobby, and today we do quite a lot of stuff. Like I said, we do events as a company. Whenever you are doing events, you can't do it alone. You bring the youth. Let's say I'm doing an event today and we need ushers, maybe like 60 ushers. I will not go to anywhere. I'll go to my area where I'm coming from. Call the young girls, hey, I have a job, come and do this job. I pay them, they go home, they're happy. When I have big events, like today, some of the cameramen are on another assignment. So you see, and some of them are in Takrady. They left 3 days ago. So that's 4 people in Takrady. Maybe if I had not brought them into the company, these 4 guys, only God knows what they'll be doing. They are in Takrady, they are lodging in a hotel, they are enjoying the way, they are happy, they are experiencing a new environment, they are experiencing a new people. So they are coming back happy. Apart from that, we do 3D architectural designs for building constructions. And then we also do interior decor. You see, so all these aspects, I can't do them alone. I'm always working with people. I'm always with my team. And this is how far we have come. We do a whole production, just like what you are seeing. So it's a very beautiful journey. And I've also been a good benefit to you. I pick you guys from the airport. That is also part of the protocol security escort services. But you guys are my people, you are my friends, so it's a family thing. So this is how my life has become. And as a CEO of Skybase Multimedia Agency, it's not anything big. Anyone can achieve that. Anyone can achieve that. And we are still growing. We are still young. We are still growing. And we'll keep growing. And we'll keep empowering people. We'll keep bringing people into the team so that together, maybe if I travel or I'm not here, the company can still move on.
Yeah, it's been so great meeting you and getting to know you. Like, you have such an amazing story and are such a great person so far. From what I know, you've been so kind and welcoming, and also just forthcoming with sharing your knowledge and your story for people to have a better understanding of Ghana and the things that people experience here. So I really appreciate you sharing that, supporting us while we're here, and thank you so much.
So thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm happy about this interview. At least I'm sharing my story. But then, if you have, what is your favorite color?
Gold.
Gold.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you have to choose between army green, blue, orange, which one will you choose?
Green.
Green. Okay. So I have a gift for you.
Oh.
Yes, I have a gift for you.
This is gonna be perfect today because we've been to thank you.
Yes. So yeah. So I want to, this is some of my work.
Oh yeah.
So
That's
choose
nice.
what you want.
Oh yeah, I like that one with the
You
gold
like
on
this
it.
one?
Yeah.
Okay. So you show it to the camera.
Yeah, this gonna be perfect today when we in this heat.
Oh, okay. So this is my gift for you.
Thank you.
Yes, this is from Skybase.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna tag you in everything too.
Yes.
Y'all been so helpful.
Yes. And welcome to Ghana once more.
Thank you.
Yeah, wisdom. Wisdom means you are welcome. They say you.
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 Thank you.
All right.